YouTube makeup lovers, so today I wanted to do a video all about highlighting and contouring. I think highlighting and contouring is something that is very, very powerful. It can totally transform your face depending on how dramatic you go. I've seen people who do such great contouring and very, very dramatic that it even looks like maybe they got their nose done or they even had a plastic surgery when they really didn't. It was all just with makeup. I personally really never go that dramatic, but I do highlight and contour a little bit every day, very, very light strokes. And I'm gonna show you some tips about how I personally like to highlight and contour. I think the beauty of highlighting and contouring is that you can do it whichever way you want. You can go from very, very, very light to like super dramatic. And there's also so many products that you can use for highlighting. You can use powder products, you can use cream products. I mean, there's so many things out there. You can even use eyeshadows for highlighting and contouring. It doesn't have to be a product made specifically for highlighting or one made specifically for contouring. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off with contouring. And contouring is something that you use when you wanna like make something look a little smaller. You kinda wanna hide it more. So you don't want it to be like bright and like obvious. You kind of want to like make, for example, I would do contouring definitely here on my cheekbones to make my face look a little slimmer, make kind of like your cheekbones a little bit more defined. I also love to contour here in the jawline just to make it look a little bit more defined. Definitely the temples, down the sides of the nose, a little bit on the tip of the nose as well. By putting a little bit of a darker color on the bottom of the nose, it kind of makes your nose appear like you're shortening it a little bit. For me, a great product to use for contouring is definitely bronzer. My favorite bronzer is the Nars Laguna bronzer, something that is not so shimmery or anything like that. I don't have my big Nars bronzer to show you just because I already packed it because I'm going on a trip, but I have a little sample of Nars Laguna bronzer, and it's a really great color for contouring. There you see the color a little bit. Another product that I love for contouring is MAC's Wedge Eye Shadow. Is great for contouring. So there's so many options. And another product that I love for contouring is the Naked Urban Decay Flushed Palette, and the bronzer in this palette is also a good color for contouring. But definitely, it's this one right here. But definitely my favorite one would be the Nars Laguna. And for a cream product, if you want to go really dramatic, you can even go a little bit darker. I have this Ben Nye cream product. It's a cream foundation. And this would be for like a very dramatic contouring, and you would mix it in as you're doing your foundation. And I mean, pretty much, these are all the products you can use. You can use foundations, you can use even concealers, like a darker concealer, something that is darker than your skin tone. For me, that is why I love so much the Nars Laguna and the eyeshadow from MAC in Wedge. These are my two favorite products for contouring. As far as the brushes that you would use to contour, there's so many options. I personally like angled brushes like this are some that I love to use for contouring. My all-time favorite though is tapered brushes like this. MAC has one tapered brush. This is a Real Techniques blush brush, but it's a very tapered type of brush, and I love this type. You could even use a MAC like 109 brush like this, or even a smaller tapered brush like this, something not so big. But I mean, anything works. Whatever works for you is what you can use. I mean, even if you would want to, you can even use like a bigger brush that is mainly meant for the eyes. You can use something like this. I definitely like to change it up a bit. When I do the face, I'll pretty much use one of the bigger ones or even like the angled brush. But when I do the contouring here, I definitely use an eye brush. Like, for example, where is it? You can use like a little tapered brush like this to contour here on the sides of the nose, so it's not such a big brush, and you can really be more, you know, just have much more definition instead of just like using such a big brush to do such a small area. So for example, today for the face, I'm gonna use this Real Techniques blush brush just because I don't want it so dramatic, but I'm pretty much just gonna show you where I apply it, and I'm going to use the Nars Laguna. And this is where I would apply You could even make a funny face so that you know exactly where your cheekbones are. And then I apply some under the jawline. You could even take it down to the neck if there's something in here that you want to recede. I usually always put some on the neck and here on the temples. Now, if you want it more defined, then I probably would use something like a MAC 109 brush just to have it more defined. And you can even just go back and do your line here so that it is like a little bit more defined. And then with a smaller brush like this, I'm going to dip it into the product again, and I'm just going to add it to the sides of the nose and a little bit on the tip right here. This, again, you can go as dramatic or as less dramatic as you want. That's the beauty about doing this. If you want to change your face completely one day, you can totally go super dramatic. I think with the cream products, you can even, it's what you can use to go the most dramatic of all. I personally like the powder ones more just because I do it more as an everyday thing, not really so defined. And maybe when I go out at night, I'll do it a little bit more defined, but I really have never done like super dramatic to try to like change my face or anything like that. But I do like to do it, and like I said, for me, the most important parts to do, because just of the way my face is, it's very round, you know, and I love to just like do the contour here and under the jawline just to make my face appear a little bit slimmer. Now, highlighting is a completely different story. It is a total opposite of contouring. Highlighting is when you want to accentuate a feature on your face. You want to make it brighter. You want to make it more dramatic, more obvious. Again, with highlighting, you also have tons of different products to choose from for highlighting. You can use a powder, you can use a cream, and you can also go very light highlighting, or you can go very dramatic highlighting. An example of a celebrity that does very dramatic highlighting is Kim Kardashian. She loves to have, you know, under here very bright, and she also does very dramatic contouring because you see like the cut line right here. So that is like an example of very dramatic, but you can do anything you want. One of my favorite products for highlighting are the MAC Mineralize Skin Finishes. My favorite one is Perfect Topping. This one here is called Lightscapade. I don't like them to be too shimmery or with glitter or anything like that. You just kind of want a glow, but you don't want it to like be like shiny or shimmery or anything like that. Another one that I think it's good is a beauty powder. This is Chic beauty powder, and it is like a color like this. I don't know if you can see that. Also, the Naked Flush palette, again, the highlight in the middle is also a good one. This is a great palette to have for that because you can do it all in one. You can do the highlighting, the contouring, and add your blush. So this is a good palette. You can also use a cream product. You can use a very light concealer, and also you can use a light foundation. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do with this. But these are just the products that are my favorites. Oh, before I forget, also this one, I totally almost forgot, the What's Up highlighter from Benefit. This is also one that I love. This would be like an example of a cream product that you can use for highlighting. For highlighting, I personally like to use a tapered brush like this. I think something smaller is a little bit better so that you don't like kind of get it all over your face. I'm going to use the Mineralize Skin Finish just as an example. And for highlighting, I like to apply it here on top of the cheekbones. You can also apply some in the center of the forehead. I also like to highlight a little bit in the center of the chin. You also highlight under the eyes, and for under the eyes, I always prefer just to use my concealer as a highlighter, and over that, I apply the Benefit Powderflage to set it. I don't really apply a very shimmery product under here, but I think the concealer in itself already highlights your under eye area. Another area that I also highlight, but it's kind of like I highlight it all the time, just like naturally without even thinking that I'm also highlighting it, is when I do my eyeshadow, I always highlight under the eyebrows. That's also considered highlighting. I love to use, you know, like an eyeshadow, something like Shroom from MAC, maybe even Nylon a little bit. Nylon I also love, you can't even see that. Nylon I also love to use in the inner corner to like brighten the inner corner of the eye. That's kind of like a highlight. You want to bring that out, make it pop. And definitely under the eyebrow right here. And another place that you would also highlight with a smaller brush like this. This is like an eye brush, but I use it for this too. You dip the product, and then this, you do it directly in the center of the nose where we contoured on the sides. You highlight right in the middle. And just like with contouring, if you use like a cream product or even just like another foundation that is lighter, you can also go very dramatic with it and just kind of like blend it in as you're doing your foundation. I personally like to apply my foundation and my concealer first, set it with my face powder, and then I start with the contouring with my bronzer, and then I do blush on the apples of the cheeks, and last I do the highlighting. So that is pretty much it. I really hope this video helped you out. I know that sometimes highlighting and contouring, sometimes it gets a little scary, but it's actually something really, really easy. And if you use a light hand and you start off little by little, it could be something that you'll really, really end up loving and that you won't be able to live without. So I really hope you had a lot of fun watching this video and that you try highlighting and contouring. And as always, thank you so much for watching Be Lounge Makeup. Bye!